Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. And in this video, I'm going to be taking on the Abyss Dateless Rendezvous Part 9 Level 200 Lufenia quest as part of the new Abyss that's just come out with the surprise global first LD for Vincent. And for this, I'm bringing a team of Jack, Vincent, and Warrior of Light with a Brother's Summon. So the code requirements for this quest are particularly obnoxious in my opinion because they require an FF7 character, 2 white crystals, and a red crystal, which means that you are going to have to use an FF7 character who has either a white or a red crystal, and that narrows the list down considerably. So you can definitely tell they really wanted to incentivize you going in and pulling Vincent stuff here, because if we take a look at the list of characters that meets the criteria, this is it. This is literally it. For white crystal, your literal only option is Vincent, and for red crystals, you can bring along Reno or Yuffie, like maybe. But more likely than not, you're probably going to be bringing along Reno or Aerith, and then you need to find 2 white crystals. And if I take off the series filter and restrict the crystals to white, then we've got some, the powerful characters. We've got Pinello over here. We've got Realm. We've got Gao. So we have a lot more to work with in the white crystal department. We've got Guy if you've built him up. And we've got Emperor chilling over here. But more likely than not, you're probably going to want to bring along Warrior of Light, because this quest is actually quite difficult, and he is going to be basically your only burst user that you can possibly bring. Except for Paladin Cecil in the future, by which time this base probably won't even be around. So we're not going to talk about that. Same thing for Emperor. Okay, so the enemies here. The Lufenia Orb requires you to have a sap effect as well. So if it wasn't bad enough in terms of restricting who you can bring, you also have to make sure that they have a bravery sap effect. And it would be really awesome if you could actually bring freaking Ultimecia here and just absolutely steamroll the stage. But unfortunately, we do not live in an ideal world, and instead you're going to have to make do with either Vincent or basically like a Faris debuff sphere. If you've got somebody with an E slot and you stick a Faris, like, refined sphere in there, then that's actually good enough. Even if the poison is absolutely pathetic, the only thing you need is to have one, and you're going to be fine with that. But I am bringing this team because it is basically the strongest team you're going to get. Of course, that also means that for people struggling to clear this stage, this won't be particularly helpful, so I might actually go back and re-record this with a bit of a different team. It means that I'm not going to be able to use Jack as my DPS character, because yeah, he would take up the red crystal slot, and again, the only FF7 character with a white crystal slot is Vincent. So if you don't have Vincent, you're going to be, in all likelihood, you're going to be rocking the Reno, or you're going to be rocking the Aerith, and making it work from there. So yeah, this is the team I've got here. We've got Pinello for some nice bravery regen, and Ramza for more of the same, and Wall for more of the same, and Brothers because we don't have enough bravery to store all of this battery. Now my Vincent is kind of scuffed. He's got really bad artifacts, and in fact I am going to put some more max bravery on him because he's going to definitely need it. Yeah, Vincent. Oh, Vincent. Where do I start with Vincent, man? Like, do I stick some spheres on him? I can do it without spheres. I'm just going to leave him as he is. I'm really probably not going to use him. I just basically spam tickets at him because he's a global first, and because I have enough resources to do so, and because he's from FF7, I'm like, why the hell not? Let's pick him up. Even though I knew, looking at how he was on paper, he wasn't really going to be all that good. I was like, well, I'll still do it anyway. And indeed, I was correct. He is really not very impressive in my honest opinion, and I really could use the HP triple plus here, but I'm going to keep his next turn over there. I'm just going to use transients. Yeah, he's not great, because the problems that I have with Vincent have not been solved whatsoever by this LD. And I forgot to get his freaking Bloomstone. That's how neglected he is. I have a neglected ass Vincent here. What does this do? Does it self, special turn, effect, power of chaos? Do I have it already? See, I don't even know his kit. Okay, so I need to do this. Yeah, I pretty much need to start with his LD. Okay then, there we go. So yeah, you use this, you use his LD. It gives him a framed buff. It gives him a unique effect. which just it basically makes him stronger. It's a double brave HP attack in AoE, but it's only split damage, so that definitely sucks. And I think it has like it has a bravery sap effect to all enemies in the field when they take a turn. So like if one enemy takes a turn, you see they both get a bravery sap effect, which is really nice. And the one thing that Vincent is really good for is his debuffs. They are still basically among the strongest debuffs in the game. So I'm just going to pop a galvanize here to get some buffs up on everyone. Like his debuffs are no laughing matter. Livewire shot is probably the most potent attack down debuff there is. Same thing with his skill 1, his flaming whatever bullshit shot, the flare shot, and in terms of that being an initial bravery debuff, it is also incredibly powerful. But the problem is we just don't need strong debuffs very much at this stage in the game. Not like this, because you can just deny enemies turns. So his LD gives him a follow-up attack, which does actually hit pretty damn hard after. He attacks an enemy, and I think it needs at least 4 debuffs on it. And then if you use that attack on an enemy that's got 4 more debuffs, then he procs his follow-up attack, which is again single target. Which is you begin to see there's going to be it's a bit of a running theme here, to be perfectly honest. So let me just use Ninja Slice over here, because A is about to go into Berserk mode, and I don't want my LD debuff to go to waste. Oh, it didn't. It doesn't even dispel itself. Okay, that's okay. I clearly forgot about that. Okay, fine, whatever. So let's get his LD debuff on there, which is without a doubt one of the greatest debuffs in the game in terms of increasing the amount of brave damage you deal. And yeah, another. So Vincent's always had 2 major downsides to me. It's the fact he only does single target damage, but he's reliant on having multiple targets to actually hit for worth anything. But also he gets really high turn rates, and he doesn't have any sort of free turn or free skill or anything to increase his longevity. He just goes like really fast, so he burns out really fast without really doing much of anything, apart from inflicting powerful debuffs. And that all just comes together to make him quite possibly the most underwhelming global first we've had to date in terms of how strong they are, which is really unfortunate. And you kind of hoped for better, because it's freaking Vincent and he's been out of commission. I mean, even in JP, he still doesn't have an LD. So you kind of hoped that they would go a little bit harder. I mean, I understand that Square doesn't want a repeat of the Beatrix and the Aranea situation, where you have a global first that basically just sits on top of the meta the whole time, and really shakes things up. I understand they don't want to do that again. To be honest, I don't really want that, because it does kind of make the game a little bit stale. But at the same time, they could have done better than this. But I don't want to come off as being ungrateful either, because the fact that we have global first in the first place is just, it's completely unnecessary, and I do appreciate it. I just wish it had been executed like a little better. But that's me. That's where I stand on it. Other people may not feel the same way. Of course, all the Vincent fans out there are going to be very happy that he's usable again. But yeah, this is just me. Of course, I'm just happy to have my boy Jack back. I don't know about Vincent. Like Jack's putting in that work right now. Like his turn warping has always been pretty fun. So yeah, these bosses are every bit as annoying as they always were, except somehow not quite as annoying as they were the first time round. But yeah, Jack just continues to be remorseless and relentless in his ability to spam HP attacks because of his turn warping shenanigans. And I mean, like, I could just HP attack here, for example. And then he moves up, and then I can use an EX, or if I, there we go. So Vincent and WoL makes this fight much more straightforward, just by sheer virtue of doing what they do, because when the bosses are in this rage mode, they can do bravery HP attacks, and it will definitely kill you if you're not careful. Speaking of being killed, I can't help but notice that Vincent's shield has just run out, so we definitely need to get that back on there. Go on, hit me with all you got. Oh yeah, if that wasn't enough, they'll also kind of like fling debuffs at you, like out of nowhere, possibly when it's not even their turn. They're completely arbitrary intervals as far as I can tell. Or it's based on HP thresholds, but I mean it might as well be arbitrary because it freaking feels like it. I will show you a nightmare. Yes, Vincent is such an edgelord. Oh. Yeah, okay, so that is really important to note. They appear to be able to hit you through the shield. So either it's an instant break effect or they actually do bravery. I think they actually do bravery damage through shields, but they can't do HP damage through this effect over here, and it is a split damage attack. Like if that was 50k in like 100% AoE, we'd all be dead. So you know that's split damage. Which still looks pretty scary. I'll definitely admit to that much. No, I do not want to. I do not want to launch. Thank you very much. I'm fine as I am. Yeah, I think Vincent's live wire shot is the skill 2 is the attack debuff, and it also gives him a max bravery up buff, which is really nice. I'm just going to proc this for the shining shields here. Actually, am I going to shining shields? Which one is the most battery to other people? I always forget. But whatever, I'm still going to do this. I kind of want to reach the next screw you, I'm going to debuff you threshold. Like, I want that to happen. If I do a ninja slice, a ninja slice here, is that going to do it? Because it's going to get below 50% HP, so I expect if I'm going to trigger any funky shenanigans, they'll happen below 50%. Yeah, here we are. And you as well? Yeah, there we go. So that aspect about them is the same. But they don't cleanse their debuffs, which is really interesting. I was expecting that they would. They do give us debuffs, which is why I wanted to do this, because that means I get to use Benello to get rid of them. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, might as well. Okay, so that does barely anything. That's good to know. Okay then, so I think it's about time for our Ramsacol. Which also does like sweet fuck all in terms of damage, but at least it delays them. Oh, and the Ramsacol effect took the debuffs, which is kind of nice actually. Not gonna lie. At least Vincent still hits like a truck. Even if he doesn't have much in terms of potential damage, his actual bravery damage output is pretty strong because of the impels and stuff. Okay, that's very nice. And it's about time for us to, I would say, go into the burst. That we totally don't have to use, but that we're absolutely going to because we can. I should have waited. I should have used a shield on the other one and then used that to amplify everyone's bravery. But it's fine. We don't need to be optimal. What's done is done. Yeah, sure. I should have used the shield on this one, and then I should have skill 1 over here, and then that way we would have had much more, much juicier launch. But it's all good. So, yeah, this is making the stage look much easier than it would if I didn't have WoL Burst and I didn't have Vincent or Jack. Like, it's pretty much the strongest lineup there is for this stage. And oh god, I've left the burst music on, and it's like it's Famicom fever. Okay then, interesting. Screw it. Let's do an LD. Okay, so I do particularly like that the burst effect gives us all this like bonkers regen, because Jack can just keep spamming turns back to back and doing absolutely stonks numbers, which is always nice to see. Wow. Oh hell yeah, you know what time it is. Time to pay attention to the Lufenia orbs, because they're almost about to go off. We'd better let B take a turn soon. Jesus, I hadn't actually noticed. That's ever so slightly terrifying, but it's fine. It's fine. Nothing we can't handle. We'll just barely make it. Wow, look at that regen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I don't think so. That voice mixing sounds a little bit sus for Vincent. That EK at the end there was a little bit high pitched for the character voice. Let's make sure our LD shields are up. They'll target in wall anyway, so Jack should be fine. Max damage. Oh, and he does do the turn jumping thing as well. But honestly, look, we need to let B take a turn, so I am not going to break B. Because if I do that, then I am straight up going to die. So what we need to do is... This is a single target attack, right? Perfect. Completely single target. It's just splash damage. Okay, let's do this. We are alive! Okay, there we go. So, yeah, that can happen. Keep an eye on your orbs, folks. Well, I think it's fair to say that this is pretty much over. But I will probably be replaying this with a different team, because this is the closest I think it is possible to come to trivializing the stage. Because you literally have all the characters for it. So that's going to be it. That's going to be my initial clear of this Lufenia, which somehow was less annoying than the actual Chaos stages. Because I swear to God, this Chaos has took forever. They weren't difficult, but they kind of dragged on. But yeah, this is going to be it for the Lufenia. So thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope people out there are not too disappointed about Vincent, because, you know, remember, even if it's not what you were hoping for, and I will be honest, it's not what I was hoping for either, you still got to appreciate the effort that Square Enix are putting in to actually get these global firsts out to us in the first place. It's completely optional. It is something that they do, you know, because they love us as a fan base, and of course it's a good opportunity for them as well. So I definitely appreciate it. Just hoping for something a little bit better next time. You know, it's not too much to ask for, I hope. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, take care and goodbye.